Regarding the design, the T2S is a mostly plastic construction. It feels light, as it should, considering it only weighs 7.7 ounces, but you have some branding across the headband and slight adjustments are used to make the headphones larger or smaller. The ear cups fold inward, which makes them great for portable use, but you can also use this feature to help find a more comfortable fit by changing the angle at which the ear cups and headband rest on your head. The ear pads are made of a soft foam, and they're comfortable. They feel good against your ears. Likewise, the headband is also soft and comfortable as well. Now, although the T2S has a plastic build, they still have a secure enough feel to them overall. Regarding the features, Bluetooth pairing works well and you easily get a distance of 30 feet, which is fairly common for Bluetooth headphones. The battery life is extraordinary though, in that you get up to 40 hours, which I found to be accurate. Recharging the battery does take about 2 hours if it's fully depleted. Now there is a slight background hiss or slight static sound that can be heard when you're not listening to anything or during quieter sections of music, but the Bluetooth connection is strong as long as you're within range. A microphone is also included so you can accept phone calls using the multi-purpose button. You can also reject or end a phone call using the same button. Call quality is good, but it's not perfect, though you can easily still have a conversation with someone. The multi-purpose button is also used to pause and replay your music. On the right side of the ear cup, you have the volume up and down buttons, the power or multi-purpose button, as well as a button you can use for play, pause, or advancing tracks forward and backward. And then on the left ear cup, you have an input for the audio cable, so you can use these as wired headphones. You don't need to have any battery life to use them this way. So if your battery goes dead, you can still use them as wired headphones. In terms of comfort, these are one of the more comfortable on-ear headphones I've worn. Now what's interesting about the way these sit on against your ears is they have a little bit of an angle, and because you're not able to pivot the ear cups left to right, you're not really able to adjust that. So what I find is rather than them sitting just directly across or against your ears, the back of the pads kind of catch a little bit of your ears and then right behind your ears, kind of on your neck there. So it does take some of the pressure off them being just completely on-ear headphones. Now the padding is soft on the ear cups here as well as up on the headband. Because these are such light wearing headphones, I didn't get any hot spots up above or discomfort on my head from the weight of these, over time pushing down. The amount of compression you get is moderate, but if you stretch these out, that does lessen up if that's something that could be bothersome to you. Now, if you're someone who doesn't normally like on-ear headphones, you'll probably, again, find these more comfortable than others you've worn. But because the padding it's not a memory foam, it's just a soft foam. So what happens is over time, the padding does start to compress. And so what I find is you start to feel a little bit of the plastic housing behind the padding the longer you wear these. Now it's just going to depend on the person whether you find that uncomfortable over a period of time, or it may not bother you at all. I think most people will find they're definitely comfortable for a few hours of use. But if you're going to have an extended listening session with these, again, it's just going to depend on you, how sensitive your ears are to that on-ear pressure of these, and feeling that bit of kind of plastic housing behind the ear pads there. Overall, though, again, one of the more comfortable on-ear headphones that I've worn in this price range. So definitely a comfortable wearing headphone. Regarding noise isolation, these do a pretty good job of blocking out surrounding noise, especially as you turn the volume up, but they do leak sound. So they're not terrible, but it's enough that if you're, say, on an airplane or you're in a quieter environment, like maybe a library or something like that, where someone could be bothered, even if they're hearing just a little bit of noise coming out of your headphones, these wouldn't be great in those situations or in those type of environments. But otherwise, again, if there's just a little bit of a light environmental noise or ambient noise around you, you should be fine. Again, unless you like to listen to these really loud, because they do get loud, you should be fine. Now the sound quality of these is really interesting because I found it depends on what you're listening to. There are certain genres or types of music that sound great. For instance, anything that's electronic, even hip hop, rap, some popular music, anything that takes advantage of a nice beat or low-end music, more of an electronic type of a sound, or dance or house type of a sound. These sound amazing, especially for the price, meaning you're listening to them and you're like, wow, I can't believe these sound this good. But then You might go listen to another genre of music like jazz or classical, or even some other contemporary types or popular music that might just have more instruments in them. And you start to see some of the weaknesses of these headphones, and that is there's not a lot of instrument separation. Some of the sounds can be a little more one-dimensional. And so if you're listening to a track or a type of music or genre of music that would benefit from more instrument separation or more clarity in the instruments, more detail, then that's where they do an okay job, but not fantastic. But it's when you move into those genres that more like, especially electronic, dance, hip hop, rap, any of that, these sound really good. Now the mids and highs generally are a bit veiled and slightly withdrawn. But again, that lends itself well if you're listening to some of the more contemporary genres of music, or if you like to listen to your music at really loud levels. It's actually can be a better sound signature for that type of listening experience. Now regarding the bass, these do a good job of actually giving you a nice low end. You can hear some of the deep bass notes. So again, more contemporary music that comes across really nicely. But the downside is the bass can be a little bit muddy, again, a little bit one-dimensional sounding. So it's not necessarily a major criticism, because at this price point, you can only expect so much. And considering you do get a nice bass presence that is heard, especially for more contemporary music, it actually is a really nice feature and benefit. So if that's a type of music you like to listen to, then you'll probably really enjoy the sound signature of these, and you'll find yourself going, wow, I can't believe how great these sound, and how little I paid for them to get this type of a sound experience.